In today's video, I continue with and finish up my journey through Telltale's Season 1 of The Walking Dead. This is the final episode, number 5, and it's titled No Time Left. As per usual, each new episode begins with a recap of the previous one.
Previously on The Walking Dead.
What if my parents come home and I'm not there? I've got my walkie-talkie in case they try that way.
Hey, there were some batteries in one of those boxes. Here, you can have some too.
But we'll be in Savannah, and my parents were in Savannah. They always stay in the same place when they go there.
The Marsh house?
Yes, that's it!
You didn't come into town from the railroad, did you?
We gotta go! Yeah, why?
Clementine? Clementine! Oh. Clementine's gone. Wherever she is, I have to find her. We have a better chance of finding her if we all go together. Who's with me?
We'll look for Clementine together.
Hell yeah. What kind of friend would I be if I wasn't there for you now? You're right. I owe her. Somehow, I gotta make it right.
Clementine!
Holy.
As episode 5 opens up, the action kicks off right away. We see where the horde of walkers got dragged in from.
Vernon! Get out here! There doesn't have to be any trouble here. All I want is the girl. Give her back and nobody needs to get hurt. Clementine, are you all right? Where are you? Vernon, you son of a bitch!
Holy.
Where have you taken her?
This isn't Vernon. And you should really watch your tone. Clementine's fine. But if I were you, I'd choose my next words very carefully.
What do you want from me? Whatever it is, I'll do it. You can let her go.
I want you to never hurt anybody again. This isn't a kidnapping, Lee.
Then what is it?
A rescue.
It sounds like the man on the radio knows Lee personally, or at least knows of the group's deeds. The group's done a pretty good job at tying up their loose ends though, so who could it be?
Just hold on, Clementine. I'm coming for you.
Don't worry, pal. We'll get her back.
Lee turns around to get a look at the group and their overall morale. They seem in higher spirits than he does, and the motivation is looking pretty good. As he looks on though, the others start to think on Lee's bite a little more.
How's that feeling?
Not great. My hand is hot. It's thumping a little bit.
You seem okay for now. Yeah, totally.
We don't have much time.
We're about to have a lot less. We'll all make sure nothing gets hit. You're still the smartest fucker out of all of us. Try to find another way out of here.
This is the first time this episode where we take possession of Lee. Walkers are pouring into the morgue, but luckily for the group, the door seems to be holding pretty well. I sort of wish that there was a timer on this part, as time does seem of the essence, and in a scenario like this, the group would need to act fast before they're overwhelmed. In any case, Lee searches the area and tries to find a new way out of here. Obviously, the morgue was pretty much fully looted by Vernon, but while looking through some of the cabinets, Lee manages to find a medical rib spreader. Taking it, he walks to the back of the room and spots an elevator that couldn't be opened by hand. So, putting 2 and 2 together, he might have just saved the entire team.
I'll have these doors open in 2 seconds.
As Lee exerts himself here and saps up some of his energy, he begins to feel weak and faint. His vision goes blurry, his breath shortens, and before he knows it, he collapses on the floor and passes out.
Is he alive? Shit. This is bad. Fuck! Help me move it.
Okay. This has to be done. Sorry, pal. I gotta do it.
I'm awake!
Stop! He's awake!
He's still bitten.
So?
This is about trying to save him. At the very least, buy him some time.
Do we have to cut it off, though?
Do we know it works?
We don't know anything.
Is there gonna be a lot of blood?
There's gonna be a shitload of blood.
What if he dies?
Then the rest of us go after Clementine and get the hell out of Savannah.
Damn right. Let's do this. If there's a chance it stops you from turning, we have to take it.
Jesus, what are you guys talking about?
We thought maybe with your bite. If we removed it, you might live.
I know it's drastic,
You think?
but what if it works? It might be the only way.
What do you think?
This is the first crucial choice of the episode. Leave the arm and doom Lee, or cut it off in hopes of survival. Thinking about Clementine and her safety, he makes a choice.
Fuck it. Cut it off.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Everyone in the group knows that this next bit is going to be beyond brutal. No real medical equipment or proper meds, just a bone saw and a makeshift tourniquet.
It'll be over before you know it. Just gotta get through.
It was easier when I thought he was out.
Oh, Jesus. Fine. I'll go as fast as I can.
If I don't live through this, I need you to know you'll...
Try to stay still! Just hold on!
Lee passes out from the blood loss and pain, and in the background, we hear the amputation continue. Soon, though, he comes to.
Fuck. Holy shit.
Holy hell. We thought maybe we'd lost you. You've been out a while, man.
My arm's on fire. I can still feel my fingers. Holy hell. Oh, this hurts more than you can believe.
Do you think you'll be able to travel? You lost some blood.
Yeah. Good. The elevator's open. Let's go.
I'll bring up the rear. I don't want to bleed on anyone.
As the group enters the elevator shaft, it appears that the only way out is climbing up a ladder. Certainly not an easy task for the man who lost an arm only moments ago.
We're gonna have to go as quiet as possible and see if we can make it to an empty floor or even the roof. You think it's possible for you?
Yeah. Get going.
You okay down there? Remember, quiet.
It's no big deal. Another arm would just get in the way.
Jesus Christ.
Kudos to Lee for toughing it out. Low strength, lots of pain, one arm, but he's still motoring along.
Watch out!
Oh, man. Oh, jeez. Shut the fuck up, man.
Everything okay up there?
I think I just peed myself.
So yes, then.
As the team climbs, each floor they pass seems to be infested with more and more walkers. The plan was to stop on an empty level, but it seems that now they need to pivot, or go as high as possible.
Remember when Savannah was empty?
Those Crawford bastards did one thing right, I guess.
There must be thousands of them.
Did they follow us here?
It sure seems like it.
That's crazy. They can't track. They just roam.
Is it? That fucking train wasn't exactly discreet.
Maybe we can wait for an opening.
I don't know. We could be waiting a long time.
Still, Lee's right, in that we gotta pick our time and go. Anybody know how far and in what direction the mansion is? We probably ought to start there.
It's between us and River Street, so we can stop if we have to. Retrace our steps, maybe. And they get going towards a hotel where Clem's parents were staying.
Okay. Look, let's get our bearings and see if we can figure out a way to make it across town. Good? Good.
I wouldn't say that the puzzles in this game are very tricky or challenging, but a lot of the times, the developers add in clues at the end of each cutscene to lead you on the right path. Knowing exactly why Lee looked over at the bell tower, I first wanted to have a quick look around the rooftop and chat with some of the others.
That looks like Crawford Square over there.
Fuck that place. Did fix up our boat, though. We get Clementine and get right back.
Make sure she wears a life jacket, okay? Something tells me she's not gonna want to. That's the church across the street from the mansion. River Street should be just beyond that.
We need to head back that way. We'll stop off at the mansion, like you said, and make sure we didn't overlook anything.
Yeah. Just need to figure out a way to get there.
Finally, Lee made his way over to Omid on the other side of the roof, and the two came up with stage 2 of the escape plan.
What's up over here?
Bell tower. That's what's up.
Yeah. That could help. With the bell tower on this side of the hospital, and the mansion over there. That might be our way off this rooftop. If I can make it to that bell tower, I can draw the walkers down to that side of the hospital. There'll be thousands of them. That'll thin out the streets between here, the mansion, and River Street. Even if it's just for a few minutes.
Gathering some supplies, Lee walks over to the downed ladder over by the paint and collects it.
Whoa, you need some help with that?
I got it. Damn it. Oh, shit.
The bells.
Yeah. Could buy us some time. Draw as many as we can this way. Get down off the roof on the opposite side and bust our asses getting back to the mansion.
You think you should be the one to go?
My leg's feeling better. Let me do it.
I'll do it.
Yeah, Ben'll do it.
If we have to decide who takes a risk like this, it should be the guy who's got the least to lose. What's the worst that could happen? I get bitten again? So we're agreed then.
Why the hell are we letting the one-armed guy do all the high-risk maneuvers?
'Cause the one-armed guy insists. Now shut up about it.
That thing looks a little rickety.
Maybe keep that shit to yourself next time?
Yep.
For a guy who just lost his arm, Lee is rather resourceful and his perseverance is pretty awesome. Although, this maneuver here seems really sketchy and downright unsafe.
Oh shit. Ah, fuck.
Holy shit, man!
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I was wishing I had my other hand.
No shit! Try to find another way out of there?
The only things to interact with up on the bell tower are a hatch and some rope. Before trying the former for an alternate way out, I rang the bell and the game made the choice for me that there really only was one way off the tower.
They're coming this way!
Tons of them!
Jesus!
Now get back here!
Lee sizes up the leap back, and it seems like a pretty far one, even for a superhuman like Molly.
I think I have to jump. There's no way back.
You can make it. It ain't that far.
It's not that far, just a little hop.
A few deep breaths, and he goes for it.
You gotta do this, pal! Good goddamn leap, pal. Let's get the hell off this roof.
Again, my favorite part about that jump is that no one bothered to help Lee back up from the ledge. In any case, the scene cuts away, and we're brought back to the home over in the neighborhood. As the group moves towards the shed, they make a grave discovery.
Holy.
What the fuck? Come on, just come the fuck on!
Well, we're not coming back here after we find Clem.
Who? Fuck. How could this happen?
This was Vernon.
You think so?
Definitely.
Hey guys, Lee's right. It was Vernon in that support group.
No fucking way! The invalids?
Their actions, contradict your characterization, but yeah, the invalids.
He's right. They're not invalids. They're just people. People who've been dealing with shitty situations even longer than we have. No wonder they got the jump on us.
I don't give a fuck if their Make-A-Wish was a fucking boat ride! When I find them, I'm gonna rip their throats out!
I can't believe they did this to us.
It's sick. It really is. They use your goddamn sympathy for sick folks and then stab us right in the back!
They didn't use shit. They did what anybody would have done. They've been living like ghosts forever and they were fed up. That's it.
He says he feels bad about it. Leaving us and Clementine behind.
They fucked us!
Obviously, the plan is to still find and recover Clementine, but what comes after is anyone's guess now.
Omid, can you go over the fence and let us into the backyard? We shouldn't be out in the open.
Yeah.
This is not happening. Everything is so fucked.
Clementine is still out there.
So we get Clementine, and then what?
We get the fuck out of cities. I'm done with cities. We go into the countryside and make a go of it.
Yeah, that seems like a good idea to me. Nobody asked you. You just did. Don't get fucking smart with me, Ben.
Chill.
Do you remember we had a boat? A boat!
Everyone keep it together. Nothing has changed, has it?
Nothing has changed?
I mean immediately. We stay the course. Don't turn on each other.
Yeah, chill out, Kenny.
We can do this in the yard.
Ben, I swear to God.
What do we do without a boat?
Get to the countryside. We dicked around with cities and coastlines and boats too long. Take her out there. Live as safe as you can, okay?
Look, I agree with you. I think out in the country is the safest place to be. But you're not dead yet, so put a pin in that, okay?
Where the hell do you get off? I'm just saying we should all chill. Not just you. Chill? Lee's bitten and God knows how long he has left. Clementine is who the fuck knows, and we're robbed of the only hope we've had. So? So Lee should have left your ass in Crawford. We got enough problems. Fuck you, Kenny!
Careful, guys.
No, let him.
I am so sorry about Katya and Duck. I am. And I know I fucked up. But stop pushing me around and stop wishing I was dead. No! You know how they die. You've said goodbye. I never got to see my family, my parents, my little sister. Do you get that? Your family is gone, but at least you had them to lose. I never made it home. They could be alive or dead or walkers or worse, and I don't know. So give me a fucking break.
Oh, Ben,
Oh shit! Here they come!
in the house! They shouldn't be able to get into the backyard, right? Maybe not.
We can secure this place.
Krista! Get on the windows in the front room. Check the boards.
Got it.
Kenny. Look for weapons. Gather anything you can find.
Will do.
Ben. Move anything you can up against the doors and windows.
Got it.
Omid! What is it? Everyone, help Omid now!
All the commotion has brought the horde to the manor. With the gates to the shed open, they've swarmed the backyard and are attacking the house now. It's got a strong core, but how long can it really hold before they gain entrance?
Lee, help!
Cut their fucking arms off!
There's gotta be a knife or something in there.
Hurry!
Take their goddamn arms off!
Lee hacks away, chopping off fingers and limbs. Finally, with the doors closed, the house almost seems secure.
Get ready to fight.
This place seems sturdy to me. I think we're fine.
Sturdy my ass! Get upstairs!
Go!
Before running up himself, Lee runs into an old acquaintance and puts her down for good.
Guys, help me with this!
Everyone get to the end of the hallway.
What do we do now? This'll slow him down. We get to the end of the hallway and take a fucking stand.
We can't let ourselves get trapped.
Let's get as many as we can. And when we see an opening, we go for it. How many bullets y'all have?
3.
5.
4.
2. You all know where to aim.
Get ready.
The suspense for this part was really well done. I could feel my heartbeat a little faster as I anticipated the walkers turning the corner. You can hear them growling and snarling, tearing up the place as they start to make their ascent. As soon as the first few made themselves visible, Lee went trigger happy and popped as many heads as possible until he was out of bullets.
I'm out!
Me too!
Fuck! Where do we go?
There's no goddamn opening!
Up!
Go!
The team safely makes it into the attic, temporarily away from the danger, but up here, new problems arise.
I'm not good with these. You dropped it down there.
That could have gone better.
Everyone okay?
Lee's still bitten.
Shut up.
Okay, let's get out of here and keep moving.
Kid's right. We gotta keep moving. Think there's any chance we get Clem and catch up to those goddamn thieves?
I don't know. Maybe.
Where we're not going out through this window. No latches, no roof access, and 30 feet straight down.
Anyone have any ideas?
I bet this guy would. He's got a resourceful air about him.
Knock it off.
Dixon Kent III. Industrial...
Mead?
Krista. Just trying to lighten the fucking tone.
We need solutions, not stupid jokes. I'm sorry.
So, no ideas then.
There's gotta be another way.
Check the floor for any other access, a vent, anything.
Or we wait for the house to clear out and stick to the high ground.
Hey, you're not looking great, and you're warm.
I'm okay. Don't...
I'm okay. I'm where my parents... Oh no!
What did that mean?
She's at the hotel, where her parents were staying. He hasn't moved her.
Yet.
Yeah. Yet.
We need to start thinking about more than just Clementine when it comes to our urgency.
What do you mean?
How do we get out of here?
That's the whole point. We don't know.
Okay, now your life depends on it. How do you get out of here?
I don't know. I don't get it.
I do.
Like I said, everyone needs to keep looking for a way out, damn it. We're trapped in here.
Do you think that worked?
I don't know. I hope so.
I think we need to have an adult conversation about what happens if Lee takes another spill.
Hey, look.
We could be looking at a Larry situation here.
Who's Larry?
It don't matter.
Okay, what do you want to do?
Just talk about it.
Does that conversation end with me getting something dropped on my head?
Now, hey!
Guys, I don't know what happened before Omid and I showed up, but we can cross this bridge when we get to it.
Lee, I'm not advocating anything here, but how is this not a thing? We're all so worked up about Clementine that we're forgetting what the fuck happened to you.
My arm is not the issue. I'm not the problem. The 500 walkers in the house and no door in this room are the goddamn problem.
Yeah, maybe at the moment, but who's to say when it becomes an issue? At that point, there may not be any time left to deal with it.
This is getting out of hand.
You're gonna listen to me. We will get Clementine back, with or without you, because I haven't given up everything to die because we were stupid.
You're not touching me. Do you understand that? You know exactly what to do if I turn, and that's enough. Do you hear me?
You might become one of them. You understand that? How can you be fucking calm about that?
Lee turns his attention to the bust, and I'm prompted to pick it up, but I didn't want to hurt Kenny.
You ruined that dude's face.
Shut up, sweetie. Look.
It's corroded to hell.
What's on the other side of this wall? A 30-foot drop?
No, this mansion butts up against the one next door.
This wall ain't shit.
Is this really possible?
In a fit of rage, it seems like Kenny figured out their escape route.
Yeah, we can do this.
Okay.
We'll work in shifts. Omid, Krista, and I. Lee, you rest. We have to work fast.
Sorry.
Me too. I get her. Go sit down.
I'm glad you told us when you got bitten. It would have been easy not to.
Yeah. Well.
We probably would have let you go alone if you hadn't told us, which would have been a mistake.
If I were you, I would have been scared shitless.
I was. The fucking thing, it happened so fast. You ever almost hit someone in a crosswalk?
Almost?
His license was suspended. Twice.
Just wham! Thing was on me. Never saw it. Like someone in your blind spot.
It's so weird. I keep doing a double take on your arm, expecting it to be there.
I'm hoping whatever's in their bite is gone too.
What do you think the odds are of that?
I don't know. I know everyone's wondering. Even if it just slows down the process, I'd be happy.
You don't mean that.
So when we get this guy, what do you think?
We figure out who he is, why he's doing this. We can rescue Clem, but she won't be safe if this guy's not gonna stop.
So, did your crew get into any shit before you met up with us?
Is it possible to have survived and not gotten into some shit?
And, you know, whatever happens to you...
Seriously, can we not talk like that? The entire time we were at the hospital, I could sense you think you're as good as dead.
I was bitten, Krista.
You cut it off.
What good is it to plan around that working?
What good is it for you to give up?
I haven't given up. I want you guys to take her.
Stop it.
I'm serious. She'd be safe and relatively happy with you two.
We're not doing this right now.
Krista, listen to him.
It's what I want, okay?
What about him?
We, gotta support him. He's only a kid still. It's easy to forget that.
He loses shit like that often?
Nah, that was the first.
It's good that he did. Kenny couldn't pull that shit on me.
The kid killed his family, so there's been some tension there.
Really? What happened?
Kenny's son got bitten during a raid by some gang that Ben was secretly helping. They used him. Kenny's wife died because of his son.
Jesus.
Well, seems like it got through to Kenny. Whatever that's good for.
All right, I'm out of gas. You look good and rested.
Sure, if you don't count an infected leg.
You want me to do it?
Nah, and you can hop in after me.
Shouldn't be long now. It's good we're forced to take a breath. Feeling any better?
Still feels pretty recently chopped. So no, Kenny feels about as good as you'd expect.
I mean, do you think it worked? Did it help at all?
I feel like a man who got bitten. Take that for what it's worth.
I still can't believe you went and got chomped. Just fucking hell.
At least he told us.
Took some brass. I don't think I would've.
How are you?
I don't know how to answer that.
I'm sorry. You've lost more than anyone.
It'll be all right, kid.
Why are you acting like what's happened ain't happened? Anyway, I appreciate it from both of you. A lot of us have lost families.
He wanted to die in Crawford.
What's that now?
When I had him there, in my hand. He wanted me to drop him. He asked me to.
Oh, Jesus.
What?
I'm glad it was you making that call and not me. This guy tell you much about what we've been through?
Bits and pieces.
The aforementioned Larry fella? See, Lee and I got trapped in a fucking meat locker with him. He had a heart attack, so there's this guy who, I should say, was built like a brick shithouse. And we're terrified he's gonna come back and eat all of us.
What did you do?
We were resourceful.
Larry didn't make it out.
No, he did not. We did, though.
It's all water under the bridge. All we can do is move forward.
Well, cheers.
Kenny offers drinks all around, starting with Lee. He then offers it to Krista, and her reaction is very important to note. This is then followed by Kenny's reaction as he finally realizes something.
I'm through!
No walkers. Things are looking up.
The group crawls through the hole and are finally freed from the attic. The scene cuts, and we're brought over to the new home.
Keep a goddamn eye out.
This place seems pretty sealed off. Well...
Let's keep moving. Gotta go.
Yeah. We've seen so many people. I don't know why these ones break my heart.
What's heartbreaking is not giving yourself a chance. It's what Katya did.
Jesus. I'm sorry, kid.
She left me. A son. People that cared about us. I forgive her, but it don't make it any less wrong. You don't just end it because it's hard. You stick it out, and you help the folks you care about. So let's figure a way out of here and get that little girl.
We should move.
Yeah.
Got at least one shot left.
Let's clear the room before we move on. Lee, figure out where we're headed.
Looking around the bedroom, there isn't a whole lot here that can help the team with their situation. Kenny grabbed the gun with one bullet left, which might come in handy, but in terms of items, that's about it. As for ways out, Lee looks into the obvious ones. The window by the bed is accessible, but leads directly below into the walker-infested streets. Putting his ear to the door, he can hear walkers inside the home, showing that it isn't safe either. With no options left, he checks out the balcony.
Nothing other than personal items in here.
Looks like we can stay off the streets all the way to River Street if we're careful.
Let's go.
Go ahead.
As declared before, Lee is the first one to make the risky maneuvers here. He gets up on the railing, sizes up the jump, and goes for it.
Me and my fucking mouth.
Holy fuck! What are we gonna do?
Someone's gotta stay back. In case.
Come on, man.
And if all this goes bad, you might be Clementine's last hope.
We'll keep an eye out.
As Lee climbs down the chute into the alleyway, he has to be careful as to not alert the walkers.
Ow! I'm okay! I'm okay. Just get me out of here.
Shh, quiet, Ben, or they'll be on top of us.
Yeah, try to keep your mouth shut.
I'm sorry. Just get me up. My legs hurt, I think.
We're gonna get your ass up.
Really? I thought you...
As Kenny clears the debris off of Ben, he sees the damage.
Fucking hell.
What is it? I'm okay. I'm okay.
We can get you up. We can,
Ow! Oh, God!
He's quiet. We could take our time and save his life.
I can be super quiet.
Fuck!
Fuck! Oh God, don't let them get to me!
Do you have any bullets left? This has only got one left in it.
I'm out.
Shit. Get the fuck out of here.
What?
Go back. She needs you, Lee.
Kenny!
This is not a discussion!
Another crucial decision to leave them for dead or to join them.
Okay, I'm going.
Good. Get back up there. Now!
What are you gonna do?
Fucking go! Back, you sons of bitches! Yeah! Oh, fuck! Kenny, please!
What happened?
They're gone. God damn! God!
I heard a shot.
He was fighting them off. Trying to, at least.
Ben is almost certainly a goner. Even if they had pulled him up, there was no surviving that injury. As for Kenny, we heard the singular gunshot indicating that he either took Ben's life or his own.
You saw them die?
Nobody was getting out of there.
I'm sorry, Lee.
Well, maybe he did get away. I don't know.
One thing's for sure, though, we haven't heard any screams.
We should go.
Right behind you.
The scene cuts away and we're brought over to a new shot of the remaining trio further along on the rooftops. As the camera switches around, we see that Lee looks visibly worse.
Do you want to talk?
Nothing to say. We need to stay focused on what we're doing.
I know we can't just take a minute, but you're not a machine. Look, Lee, this is a shitty time, but I want to clear something up.
What is it?
Now with Kenny gone, means Omid and I have to stay safe. For her.
Yeah, you do. Let me take all the risks.
That's not what I mean, necessarily.
That's what I mean. It's what we gotta do.
The team comes to an old makeshift bridge, no doubt probably used amongst some of Savannah's survivors, perhaps even Crawford. One by one, they begin to cross it. As Lee looks down, the audience gets another visual of just how bad the city's gotten. Everywhere you look, there are walkers roaming the streets, platforms, buildings, etc.
River Street's just up ahead. Whoa, careful.
Even the buildings are full.
They never know where their next meal is.
No, they don't.
I didn't mean...
It's fine. Let's go.
The scene cuts away and we see that the trio has made some more progress along the rooftops. Significant amounts of time has gone by though, as it appears as though it's almost dark out. The group is now by River Street, where they first met Molly and saw the wall of walkers.
The Marsh Hotel is around the corner of the block. We have to cross here.
Well, at least it doesn't look like a death trap. Who's going first?
You're the lightest.
He's got a busted leg and you're walking for two. I'm obviously not doing so hot. decision doesn't make itself.
Keeping his promise to go through the risky maneuvers first, Lee volunteers to cross the sign.
I'll go first, in case anything happens out there.
You sure?
Yeah.
Something really important to point out is what Lee had just said to Krista. Remember back in the attic when Kenny looked shocked after she accepted the alcohol and her initial hesitancy to drink it? Well, it's heavily implied that she's pregnant. There were lots of little breadcrumbs thrown in by Telltale, but for this playthrough, she never explicitly mentioned it. This explains her long visits with Vernon back at the household, Omid's rage for pulling him into the train first, her emotions towards the tragedies of other mothers and couples during the game, her aversion to certain smells, and of course, her reaction to drinking alcohol.
Oh, fuck! Shit!
Are you okay?
Fine. I'm kinda fucked here.
What are you gonna do?
Fuck it. I'm going for it.
Going for it?
What does that mean?
It means I'm already bitten. I just have to push my way through.
What the fuck? But maybe you got to it fast enough. Maybe you'll be fine.
I can't risk losing more time on a long shot. Let's meet outside of town, by the train.
Are you nuts?
It's the only way. Do you hear me?
Yeah, by the train.
Jesus. We'll be there.
Lee makes his way over to a nearby pipe and slides his way down onto the street. The scene changes, and he's now face to face with a massive herd. There are hundreds of walkers in between him and the marsh house. Realizing what needs to be done, he pulls out his meat cleaver and begins his journey. Something really important to note here is that if you're not fast enough to react, walkers can get the jump on Lee and get more bites in. This demonstrates to the player that no matter which direction you chose for him, cutting off his arm or leaving it intact, his fate was sealed as soon as he was bitten. As Lee clears a path to the marsh house, he spots a car just outside of it. There's nothing going on with it right now, but keen viewers might remember it from a long time ago. The scene cuts and the atmosphere is now completely different. The hotel is quiet, a little too quiet. There are no walkers or people in sight. As Lee walks down the hallway, he comes to a room on the left-hand side. He then puts his ear on the door. Hearing some shuffling on the other side, he enters the room. Although it appears empty, it's clearly been recently used. Most notably, there's a rope tied on the doorknobs of the bathroom and the closet, almost as a way to keep someone trapped.
I got us adjoining rooms.
Where is she?
I already told you she's fine. You look horrible. And you're missing an arm. Go over there. Put your things down.
Let me out! Who's out there?
Quiet, please, sweetie. Your things. There.
This is either the smartest or the dumbest move he could have made, but Lee chooses to conceal the knife and only puts the radio down.
This is all I've got, okay?
You travel light. I don't believe you.
That's everything. Go ahead and search me.
No, I'm not touching you. Just sit down. Do you know who I am?
Again, the car out front might have tipped some of the audience off.
No. I don't know anything about you.
You wouldn't. People like you don't. Now you're thinking, who would have it out for me, huh? A few weeks back, there might have been a station wagon in the forest, full of all sorts of food, water, things you need to survive. Yeah, I'm not some cannibal, Lee. Some killer out in the woods. Some villain. I'm just a dad. I coach Little League.
Everything was just out there for the taking. We were starving.
For the taking? Do you know what you took from me?
I'm sorry. Whatever it is, whatever happened, you have to hear that I'm sorry.
That doesn't mean anything to me. I wish it did. I'm not a bad man. I don't believe in vengeance, but I've got nothing left. Have you ever hurt somebody you care about?
Yes, of course.
Who?
My wife.
Clementine said she wasn't with you.
I heard her a long time ago.
How?
In a lot of ways. She traveled for work. I didn't like that. I wanted a family.
A reasonable thing to want.
So we fought, and it made my biggest fear come true. Got sick one day on my way to class, canceled it and went home. Found her there with someone else. Killed him. I was mad at her for so long, and I can't imagine how much pain she felt. How about you?
I hurt her so bad. My son Adam went missing. I took him out hunting even though my wife said he was too young. I figured he had to learn. I came back without him and the look on her face said, "You are a monster." We all went out looking for him. We never found him. I hurt her so bad. Then you took all of our things. You robbed us. I could have earned her trust back, Lee, but not after that.
You fucked up.
The hungrier we got, the more she blamed me. Until she finally took our daughter Elizabeth and left. They didn't get far. I found them a day later in the road. Do I look like a monster to you?
We all do.
Some more than others. I'm not like you. You killed a man with a pitchfork right in front of a little girl.
It's more complicated than that.
You abandoned a defenseless, grieving woman.
You weren't there.
The sweatshirt she's wearing was my boy's. You stole that from us.
That's not the whole story.
The whole story?
How could you know all this?
You're a monster. You're a murderer and a thief. And I'm gonna hurt you so bad.
Just give me Clementine back.
I'd rather kill her myself, because that's what will happen if she goes with you. After I heard Clementine on the radio and realized who you folks were, I came after you purely for revenge. But the more I heard about the things you did and the danger she was in, our plan changed. Lee, listen to me. I need you to hear this before what happens next. I can take care of her. We can have a family. I bet you don't even know how old she is.
She's 8.
Wrong. She's 9.
But
her birthday was 6 days ago. I know how to be a dad, you know. She wouldn't be exposed to what she has been with you.
no, shut up.
It makes sense.
It's not happening. I'm bitten.
What?
I got bit, and I'm gonna make sure you end up the same way as me. Make sure you shoot me in the head.
No. I'll be with her and you'll be rotting in the streets. Hey, honey. I think this is all gonna work out.
What are you...
I'm glad too.
As the stranger talks into the bowling bag, Clementine manages to get herself free from the bathroom. Using his eyes, Lee signals for her to grab the bottle.
I hate seeing you like this. I just miss your smile, honey.
As she slowly creeps up to the man, Lee gets ready to pounce.
You're gonna like Clementine a lot, though. She's not Lizzie, but she's sweet. She wouldn't hurt a fly.
As the fight comes to an end, the one-armed, half-dead Lee bests the stranger. Lee decides if now is the time to show mercy or not. Considering how things have been going, because of previous decisions like this, he ties up a loose end.
He would have come back.
That's right, sweet pea.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Shh. It's okay. It's okay.
Your arm's gone. Why? That's so scary.
I had an accident. We'll talk about it somewhere safe.
You don't smell good.
Yeah, I know. Did he hurt you?
No. Not really. I'm sorry, Lee.
Clem, it's okay. We need to get you somewhere safe. And Then we have to talk, okay?
Yeah.
Everything's okay now. We need to figure out how to get out of Savannah as fast as we can. I'm sorry you had to see that.
He was going to kill you.
And take you. Yeah.
Clementine's been rescued and her captor got what was coming to him, but they're still in a tight spot. Lee doesn't have a whole lot of time left. Savannah is still crawling with zombies, and who knows the current whereabouts of Omid and Krista. Lee looks around the room and decides that it's best for them to leave the way that he came in.
It didn't bite you.
Yeah. I know it. Must have.
You're covered in all that gross stuff.
I had to get through a bunch of them to get here. That's how we'll get out of Savannah.
Lee grabs the knife and gets to work on the walker's corpse. Cutting into its belly, getting into all of its rotting guts and organs, he begins to rub them on Clementine's clothing.
Ooh.
It's interesting because I feel as though Lee wanted to say that the walker didn't get him due to him being almost a dead man.
A little more. I want to be sure.
But Clementine brought up the blood and muck that was already covering him. I feel as though both angles are true and work in his favor here.
That should do it.
I hope so.
And you're missing something.
I thought it was gone.
I thought you were gone.
Thank you.
Stay right next to me. And walk very slowly. Don't look around. And don't panic. I'll keep you safe.
The scene cuts and we're brought back out into the streets. The horde is just as plentiful as it was before, but this time, due to the scent from the walker's blood and guts, the duo is masked and fit in with the undead perfectly. During this part of the game, the player has to carefully walk through the swarm. You move too fast and the zombies will notice you. You take too long and they'll catch on. If you bump into any of them in a certain way, it's game over. As Clementine and Lee near the end of the street, so close to safety, she looks into the crowd and sees familiar faces. Her mom and dad, the people whom she risked everybody's lives for in order to find, were dead all along.
Lee, wake up! Please don't be dead. Please, no! Lee, I was so scared. I thought you left me. I saw my parents.
I know. They didn't get to you, right?
No. We got away. They're dead for sure.
Clementine, we have to get out of here as fast as we can.
We can't. There's thousands of them outside.
We have to. I'll protect you. We'll push through them.
No, that's crazy. I saved you. We're safe here. I locked us in.
Get that door open.
I can't.
Do it!
It was only a little open when I found it. I closed it to keep us safe.
Pull on 3. 1, 2, 3.
No matter how hard the two of them try, the garage door doesn't budge.
See?
Clementine, honey. My arm is gone because I cut it off.
Why would you do that?
Because I was bitten, Clem.
Please, no. No. That's not true.
Yes, it is. It's gonna be okay. You are gonna be okay. We just have to think and work together.
Okay. I think there might be a way out over there.
Good girl. Let's go. I might be a little slow.
I'll help you.
As Lee trudges along through the garage, we see that this is likely the end of the line for him.
I got you. You can lean on me if you have to.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
I thought I was helping by bringing you in here.
You couldn't have known. I should have told you.
It was scary at the hotel.
Yeah.
Keep going. We're almost there.
As the audience's eyes scan the room, the most obvious way out is through the little booth at the back, but unfortunately, it's being guarded by a walker.
Get up, Lee. The door is right here.
Using all of his strength, he tries to muster up the power to stand up again, but it's just not working.
I can't.
You have to.
Liam, I can't move. This is it for me here.
Please try to get up.
He gives it one more shot, making it a little further than last time, but ultimately, his body fails him, and he accepts this as his final resting spot.
I can't. You don't have much time. You gotta do something. Fast.
Like what?
You need to get out of here as soon as you can.
I can't leave you.
Just work on getting out, okay? We'll figure it all out. Don't worry.
Looking around the area, Lee spots a few things that Clementine needs in order to secure her escape.
Just start by getting that door open.
It's locked.
It's no big deal. It's just a glass window.
Ow!
Not with your hand. There's a baseball bat under the counter, Clem. You can use that. Use the bat to shatter that window so you can reach in, okay?
Okay.
Watch out for broken glass. Good job. Don't be afraid of him, honey. You're smart. He isn't. You're smarter than all of them. Grab the chair, Clem. Use it to reach in to the lock. Then, open it.
He's trapped.
This'll be easy then. He's got keys. Probably to that door. Everything you'll need. There are handcuffs on the ground. Get them.
Okay, Lee.
Lee looks down at his hand and the radiator next to him. He gets the idea that the handcuffs can either be used on him in order to hold him down and ensure Clementine's safety, or on the walker over in the chair.
You have to handcuff the walker. You can kill it easy then.
I don't know, Lee.
You can do it. Just be careful. Move around the side and jump away if he gets close.
Lee.
You can do it.
What should I get first?
Get the gun, Clem. Always the gun.
As the walker breaks free and lunges at Clementine, all Lee can do is watch.
Watch out!
Using the last bit of his strength, he slides the baseball bat over to her.
I did it. I got him.
Great, Clem. Good job. Hey. You're strong, Clem. You can do anything.
But I'm little.
Doesn't mean nothing. You go see bad stuff, but it's okay.
My parents. It's so horrible.
I can't imagine, sweet pea.
And now, you? Please. Please don't be one of them. Please don't become a walker.
There's only one thing you can do. You know that.
Here we come to the final crucial decision of the game. Does Lee ask Clementine to shoot him, ensuring he doesn't come back, or does he let her save the bullet and doom him into becoming a zombie? Truth be told, the outcome is the same with him dying, and ultimately, I think Lee would have wanted her to save the shot in case she needed to use it.
Me. It's okay.
You'll be just like them.
It's okay. It won't be me.
Lee.
Clem, it's time to go. You gotta get out of here.
You can come with me.
No, honey. I can't. It's okay.
Please.
You have to go. Now.
Maybe I shouldn't let you turn.
I don't want you to have to do that. Save the bullet. I'm not going anywhere. You have to always think about what you might need later. And Megan, first days we met, do you remember?
Yeah, I do.
When I went out to rescue that boy Glenn, we met a girl. She'd been bitten too. All she wanted was to not come back as a walker. I couldn't bring myself to give her the gun. I didn't want to see death then, and I know we've seen so much of it, but you shouldn't have to see it now.
I'll go. I'll leave you. I'll go as fast as I can.
And as safe as you can. Always be safe. Find Tomid and Krista. They're outside of town, by the train. You remember how to get back there?
Yes.
Good. They'll take good care of you. And Clem, Keep that hair short.
I will. I'll cut it myself.
Great. Good. And also...
What is it?
No, don't worry. All right. You'll be okay.
Don't go.
Lee looks on one last time to Clementine, and she does the same to him. His story ends here, in a garage, as he's fated to die and return as a zombie. Clementine's, on the other hand, well, hers is only just beginning. The episode ends, and we're brought over to the choices menu. The big decisions for this one are as follows. Did you remove Lee's arm? Did you lose your temper with Kenny? Did you give up your weapons to the stranger? Did you kill the stranger? And did you stop Lee from turning? After this screen, the audience is brought over to another. This one details the interactions with every single major character in the game and how their story ended. Kenny was lost to the herd trying to save Ben. Katja shot herself when faced with her son's death. Larry died in the meat locker at the dairy. Lily was left on the side of the road. Omid and Krista were separated from Lee after he had crossed the sign. Ben fell to his death in the Savannah alleyway. Carly was shot and killed by Lily. Doug died when walkers attacked the drugstore. And Duck was mercy killed by Lee after he was bitten. With episode 5 of Telltale's The Walking Dead Season 1 at an end, I wanted to now quickly and candidly go over my choices from episode 1 all the way to the finale, as well as give some overall thoughts on each episode. Starting things off with episode 1, now everything I'm about to say is off the cuff and there's no script, so it's just my honest opinion, but I really liked episode 1. I thought it set the tone for the whole game very nicely. It did a really good job at making you feel immersed in the world, and that slow pace into actually experiencing the zombie apocalypse was fantastic, right? It's not that it starts off right away and you're kind of thrown into the mix. It's the slow descent into chaos, into madness, right? With slowly but surely more and more zombies come out and are kind of, I guess, turned, and then through there it creates this whole panic and chaos and what we see from apocalyptic sort of titles, right? Now, let's go into the decisions that I made. Number 1, honesty. Did I lie to Herschel? So I actually didn't mean to lie to Herschel in the beginning. I think I just wanted to kind of skirt some of his dialogue and give him some vague answers. I didn't want to lie to him. One thing about this game is sometimes what the dialogue shows you or the dialogue options presented aren't actually what fully happens, right? It's kind of completely different. Some things are just different to their context. So I didn't mean to lie to Herschel, but it ended up being like that. Choosing to save Duck or Sean, that one was pretty obvious for me. During this whole time, I knew I wanted to side with Kenny. You can either side with Kenny or Lily a lot of the times, and then Kenny or whoever he's against, right? Ben or Omid and Krista, whatever. And knowing where the game went, because obviously I said it before, but this is not my first time playing this game, right? I think it's number 3 or number 4 playing it, but yeah, I knew that Kenny goes the distance, right? He's one of the few characters that goes all the way to the end, which leads me into point number 3 of loyalty. Did you side with Kenny? I believe that's back at the drugstore, whether you defended Kenny or you decided to throw him out because Duck might have been bitten. Again, I knew that Kenny was going to be my guy, right? I wanted to side with him. I wanted him to kind of have that same loyalty back towards Lee when it came to making the harder decisions in the later episodes. Decision number 4, Mercy. Did I choose to give Irene the gun or refuse it? And obviously I refused to give her the gun. So why I did that? Well, to be honest, I knew what was going to happen. I knew that either way she was going to pull the trigger, right, and end her life. But to be honest, I think I just wanted to see how the commotion was going to play out. I think in the past I've given her the gun more than I haven't, and I didn't really remember the events that unfolded when you do give her the gun, so I wanted to just see again how the story kind of goes from there. Then lastly, who would you save, Doug or Carly? Now this decision, from when I first played the game years ago, this was the biggest, kind of most impactful one that I will always remember. It'll always stick with me because it was just the moment where I realized how real decisions were in this game, how real Lee's choices were and the effects they had on others, right? Do you save Carly or do you save Doug? Well, most of the time I actually end up saving Doug. I'm not sure why. I think it was just instincts at first, and then I liked his AV skills because they do come in handy in certain ways if you play through the game with him. But Carly does have the gun, right? She has the defenses, she has the means to kind of help the group a little more with the danger threats, whereas Doug's are more so, I guess, maybe survival based or little tips and tricks to help them out. And I had actually never sided with Carly before. I've seen others do it, but I decided this was the time that I would side with her, and I really like the results that it came with. Now, without any spoilers, unfortunately for episode 3, which we are getting to soon, I believe no matter who you choose or what scenarios you put everybody through, the Doug or Carly kind of scenario comes to an end because they get shot by Lily anyways, right? Doug gets killed by Lily if you choose Doug, and Carly gets shot in the face too, right? So it doesn't fully matter in the end who you choose, you get to the same outcome anyways. Now we move into episode 2, and up until literally playing through this series for, I guess, YouTube, I never really considered episode 2 that impactful towards the overall story. I always kind of associated 1, 3, 4, 5 that actually had the main kind of plot points and it steered everything into a certain direction, whereas 2 just kind of felt more like almost a side mission or a side quest, right? You run into the St. John brothers, you gain their trust, and then they gain yours, and then in the end it turns out that they're not who they say they are, and they actually kind of, I guess, sort of create an obstacle for the group. They create a little speed bump, a little hurdle, but it's nothing crazy, right? Nothing really impacts the final story from this episode. At least that's what I thought up until I finished this episode, and that's when I realized that the tape recorder that we see Jolene kind of go over and record herself into is what sets up episode 3, right? She says that the bandits have their eyes on the dairy, and as long as the dairy provides for them, they will not come for you at the motel. And I never realized that until playing through that episode, that literally means now that the dairy is gone, the dairy has fallen, the bandits are coming for the motel, right? I didn't realize that's what it meant, and then that's how Ben gets into his situation for episode 3. So yeah, I always considered it sort of the black sheep of the season, but now I realize how it really ties everything in together, which is cool. All right, so the very first decision is if I chose to chop off David's leg or not. Now, to be honest, I didn't know that it was fully an option. I kind of remembered that there was an option there, but I didn't fully realize that you didn't have to. I think there was a world where you could have just left David and then Ben comes with you, and I think Travis would have died there as well, but I just assumed that chopping his leg off was the only way to go. Now, of course, there are a lot of things that I remember from this series, but a lot of things that I don't remember. So yeah, I just assumed that it was all part and parcel. Now, decision number 2 is if I shot Jolene or not. Now, I did remember this one, and I knew that if you shoot her, Danny sort of gaslights you and guilts you into killing her, when in reality, I knew that he was going to do it all along, so I just wanted him to take care of the dirty business and at the same time kind of hear her out in case there were things that I missed story-wise, or again, kind of how I mentioned that episode 2 connects with the rest, so I wanted to just see if there were any connections and bridges or links between any of her dialogue and what was to come. And lo and behold, there was. Number 3 is a really good one, if I helped kill Larry or not. So back in the meat locker, Larry has a heart attack, and then Lily tries to save him, while Kenny goes out to smash his head in with the salt lick, which was pretty brutal. One of my favorite moments from the series, to be completely honest. There was only one time where I ever helped Lily, and it was actually really neat. I liked the direction the game took it in. Larry sort of wakes up, or at least he comes to, whatever version of Larry it is, he starts to moan and groan and slowly get up, but you can't quite see if it's him or a walker. To me, I believe he's actually alive. I think he survived the heart attack, but, having to do what was necessary and acting quick, Kenny sort of smashes his head in, which kind of ruins everything if whether or not he was alive. In any case, though, like I mentioned before in episode 1, I wanted Kenny to be by my side throughout the entire time, and I always wanted to side with him just to create that sort of friendship and loyalty, so of course I had to help him. But in reality, I think if that wasn't sort of on my mind, I would have helped Lily. Decision number 4 is if I killed both of the St. John brothers. Now, to be honest, I thought Decision 4 would be killing Danny, and Decision 5 would have been Andy. I didn't know that it would lump it into both, so ultimately mine was that I didn't end up killing both. But I knew I wanted to kill Danny because, he was a bit of a freak and the things he was saying were pretty bad. I wanted to kill Andy too, but the thing about him was it kind of puts you in this choice of killing him or returning to the group and showing your loyalty and your humanity, and I didn't feel like that was a fair choice to be given, right? But in the end, I did remember that walkers swarm the farm, they swarm the dairy, and then they kind of close in for Andy St. John, so I figured he was going to die in probably a worse way, right? He was going to get ripped apart by zombies, so figured that was probably fine there. Now, the final prompt is if I stole food from the car, so the station wagon that was out in the forest. Some people in the group wanted to take it, others didn't. I sided with those who wanted to actually take the food and supplies. To be honest, I had completely forgotten that it all belonged to the stranger and that he was the final antagonist in this whole series. I just thought that it was sort of a morality sort of situation where do you take this food that doesn't belong to you in order to survive, or do you leave it for those who it originally belonged to, right? Obviously, there was going to be an episode 3, the group wouldn't have just starved off and that's how the ending would have been decided, right? But I figured at the very least in the moment, right, might as well go for the survival instincts to take the food. Next up is episode 3. Episode 3 has always been my favorite throughout the entirety of season 1. I feel like it's where everything really kicks off. The bandits attack the motor inn, Duck gets bitten, Katja takes her own life, Carly or Doug is killed by Lily, Lily is left behind, then you meet Chuck, you also get to meet Omid and Krista towards the end. A lot happens in such a short amount of time, and it's awesome. It's one of the ones that I love the most. Now, let's talk about the decisions, the choices. Now, the first one is if I chose to shoot the girl in the street. Now, I knew this one wasn't going to have a crazy outcome on the story, right? If you shoot her, then you have less time to loot the drugstore. If you keep her alive, the walkers eat her and it gives you a little more time. I knew that the bandits were going to attack the motor inn and that everything was going to be lost anyway. So yeah, you would have thought that maybe that would have led to me killing her, right? Having that sort of mercy kill. But I don't know, I think I just wanted to see how the story was going to play out this way, or at least this is how I wanted to tell the story, right? To show how humanity can quickly leave some people. Choice number 2 is if I abandoned Lily. So 45% of players and myself abandoned Lily on the side of the road after she murdered Carly or murdered Doug, whichever one you chose. I chose Carly, knowing how the events were going to play out, because spoiler alert, if you actually took Lily with you, kept her prisoner in the RV, as soon as the group hits the blockade, hits the railroad with the train in the way, everybody else gets off, Lily is left behind on the RV, and then she hijacks it. She takes it and drives off, technically leaving everybody stranded anyways, but in the end the RV gets left behind when the train gets going. So similar to the first choice, I knew it wasn't going to have a crazy impact on the final outcome of the episode or even really the game, so I figured might as well just choose with my head, right? She just murdered somebody close and loyal to the group, Carly. Figured might as well just leave her on the side of the road. Decision number 3 is if I chose to fight Kenny while we were on the train. Obviously, Duck was bitten, he was doomed, his fate was set in stone, and Kenny was in denial. Kenny didn't want to believe it. This comes right after Lee helps Katja wipe the blood off of Duck's face. I thought the only option here was to show Kenny the bloody rag, and then Kenny would have had this moment of shock and clarity. I had no idea that peacefully talking him down was even an option. I assume that you just show him the bloody rag, he gets even more upset, and then from there he kind of comes to his senses. So I had no idea that this was even an option for me to choose. Choice number 4 was if I chose to shot Duck. Now personally, I think this whole moment with Duck, Katja, and Kenny where Duck's bitten, and then the two of them are off to the side of the train with Lee talking about Duck's final moments and what they should do. To me, that was the most heartbreaking point for this entire series. I don't know, it just really hit hard. I feel like the voice actors did a great job at capturing the emotion, and the tone was set so nicely. It was just a very sad, heartbreaking moment. And to me, I feel like all along Kenny shouldn't have had to shoot his own son, mercy kill his own son, but having just lost his wife in a really horrific manner too, I figured it was the least Lee could do for him. Then the final decision for the game is if you chose to help Omid or if you chose to help Krista first. And I chose Omid obviously because of his leg. I figured that was the option that made the most sense. Krista seemed pretty capable to me, and at the time too, I didn't fully remember that she was pregnant. But in any case, I don't actually remember what happens if you choose to help Krista over Omid. I don't know if he just gets left behind and you go through the rest of the game without him, or if similar to Krista, he gets this big burst of energy and ignores his leg pain and makes a break for the cart and hops on. I'm really not sure. Up next is episode 4, and this is the episode I actually remembered the least of, so it was almost like I was going through it for the first time. I had completely forgotten about Crawford, I had completely forgotten about Ben in the bell tower and Vernon and all of the cancer survivors, right? I didn't really remember any of that. When I first saw Molly, I was taken aback. I couldn't remember for the life of me who she was, so again, it was a really cool experience. And it actually pleasantly surprised me. I thought it was all just going to be some lead up to episode 5, which technically it was, but there were a lot of unique elements to it, which we're about to go over. The first choice is if I killed the boy in the attic. Apparently only me and 25% of players decided to kill him. I assume that if I didn't do it, Kenny would have. Maybe then that would have been his way of honoring Duck, his way of making up for his lack of action when Duck was initially bitten. I'm really not sure, but I knew this was not something that was very impactful for the story, so I didn't put too much attention into it. Now, the next decision was whether or not I chose to lie or to threaten Vernon, and in this case, I was honest and rational. And the reason I chose this was because as soon as the camera started to pan around the room to all of these old folks and those who looked a little more sickly, I figured that this group was going to be fine. They weren't really going to be an issue, and I kind of remembered that their storyline tied in with Crawford. So that's why I chose to be straight up and honest with Vernon. Decision number 3 is if I brought Clementine with me to Crawford. Initially, I didn't want to. I thought it would have been too dangerous for her, or she would have just gotten in the way, or would have gotten somebody killed. But in this case, I started to think as the conversation evolved, she was actually very useful with a lot of her work that she put in during earlier the episode, right? Her size proved useful, her shooting's gotten a lot better. I thought for sure that she would have either gotten somebody killed or would have saved somebody, and I figured that was worth seeing the story told from that perspective. And as it turns out, she ended up saving Molly. I don't know what would have happened if she wasn't there and Clementine didn't make the shot while Molly was being grabbed by that walker. I assume Lee or somebody else stepped up to the plate, but ultimately, yeah, I decided to bring her with me to Crawford and it paid off. The fourth decision, probably the biggest one for this episode, is if I let Ben fall to his death. I was very tempted to. I really wanted to let go because I remember it being a beautiful scene. It's actually really well done. It's very emotional and his sacrifice seems very meaningful, right? I think, you know, for his story arc, he goes from this scared boy to sort of somebody who makes a lot of mistakes, and then in the end he wants to pay for it with his death. And then if you actually let him, it's a very sad and depressing ending for his character, but in the end it sort of has its moment as well. It's kind of a beautiful full circle for him. However, I knew that there was going to be more to the story if Ben was left alive, especially with that whole Kenny scenario, and I wanted to see that more than I wanted to see him kind of, you know, fall to his death, right? So decision number 5 is whether or not I chose to reveal the bite to the group. Now, this is one that I've gone either way with before. I don't fully remember if you choose to conceal the bite. I don't remember how that goes with the group and when they actually find out. I assume it's when Lee passes out in the morgue in episode 5, but either way, I figured it was just better to be honest and show the group so that way they were more understanding for when Lee inevitably was going to start developing the worst fever of his life and having the least amount of strength he's probably ever had, and he's passing out in the streets. etc., right? So I figured just approach this with honesty so that way they can create a plan around Lee, and it worked, right? Lastly, there's episode 5, the finale, and to be completely honest, I think it's my least favorite episode for season 1. I think it's a combination of a lot of little things. I don't think it's one massive thing. Like for starters, it's the shortest. It felt a little rushed. I didn't really like who Clementine's kidnapper ended up being. It is cool that it came in full circle from episode 2, but I thought the connection was a little obscure and the revenge plot was a little strange too. Like I get it on one hand, but on the other hand, it just wasn't strong enough for me to feel like he deserved the title of the last boss of season 1, if you get what I mean. Again, it's just all my opinion. However, some things worth highlighting that I really did like was, for starters, the whole plot twist with Vernon and his crew, how they ended up stealing the boat, pretty much the only hope that this group had of leaving Savannah and kind of surviving, right? This was their future plan. And then also, I did like how we got to see Clementine's parents. I like how that storyline got wrapped up. Clementine sort of comes to the harsh reality that her parents are gone and she has to grow up. Pretty much all of the adult figures in her life are gone now and she's left on her own, right? Until maybe she finds Krista and Omid, who knows? Now let's get into the decisions. Choice number 1 was whether or not I removed Lee's arm or not. Now, I knew what was going to happen. I knew that regardless, Lee was going to die in the end, and the action of amputating the arm didn't really matter. However, I thought from a storytelling perspective, giving him that last little bit of hope, as well as the trials and tribulations of going through the rest or the remainder of his life with only one arm, I thought that was going to be a pretty cool angle to approach it from. If you were curious what it would have been like if you kept his arm, he would have had an easier time doing things in the world, right? Like, I guess, hopping from rooftop to rooftop and problem solving, fighting walkers, etc. But the only caveat is that I believe he passes out more. So basically, when his arm's removed, he's living life as a one-armed guy. However, if his arm is still intact, he's just passing out all the time, and that creates a whole separate list of problems. Number 2 is if I lost my temper with Kenny. I explained it a little bit while actually playing through the game, but I didn't want to attack Kenny. I didn't feel like he deserved it. I actually felt like his point was very valid. They were all locked in this attic with Lee, who was a ticking time bomb. In a matter of hours, right, if they were stuck in that attic still, he would have turned into a walker. So I completely understood where Kenny was coming from, and I wanted to try that approach, but I didn't really see the dialogue option for it. So instead, Lee got a little angry and things got heated, but I didn't think Kenny deserved to have a statue bust thrown at his head. The third decision was whether or not I chose to give up my weapons. Now, as stated before, it was either the dumbest decision or the smartest decision that Lee could have made. And I said that because I really didn't know what was going to happen. I think in the past, I gave up everything. I put everything down on the table. I think in the end, Clementine does come in clutch and she saves the day, whether it's with the knife or with the bottle. But yeah, I just wanted to see how things were going to go with the knife while Lee had it on him. But I was kind of disappointed because he didn't make much use of it. The stranger kind of knocks it out of his hand right away, and then it's made obsolete and it's not really used for the rest of the fight. So again, not really a decision that mattered fully. Number 4 was whether or not I killed Clementine's captor. And 90% of players, as well as myself, did the right thing. That guy had it coming. He definitely deserved what he got. Now, to be honest, though, I thought Lee choking out the stranger and then practically crushing his windpipe was what killed him. And then the gunshot was to keep him from turning into a walker. So I actually made this decision by accident, but I'm still glad I made the decision. I would have done it on purpose anyways if I had known. So yeah, of course, I had to kill the captor. Then we come to the final decision for season 1 of The Walking Dead was whether or not I stopped Lee from turning into a walker. And only me and 5% of players told Clementine to leave him alone. That's very understandable. Honestly, I should have let her put a bullet into Lee's skull, but I don't know. I think from the immersion point of view, I wanted Clementine to save her ammo and get out of Savannah and not run into any issues. And if she did, then she could have used that extra bullet to take care of that issue, right? That walker, whatever it may have been, the person, whatever, right? In the end, though, I knew that Lee was going to die regardless of the choice, and I kind of regret not having Clementine take him out because, like I said, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I guess that's the fate that Lee was dealt. He turned into a zombie in the end, and Clementine is now on her own. So that wraps up my feelings for each episode of Season 1 of Telltale's The Walking Dead, as well as a little bit of insight into why I made the decisions that I made. Again, some of them were just me knowing how the story was going to happen and making the decision based off of what was going to happen in the future, and others I genuinely didn't know were a decision to make. I didn't know they were the crucial decisions of the episode. So I hope that either comes as a surprise or is pretty cool for you to hear. Thus ends Season 1 of Telltale's The Walking Dead. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Again, it's one of my favorite games in the entire world. It's what helped me develop a love for story-based games. And before I sign off, there is one last cutscene at the end of the credits.